Q4 was a really successful period for myself and also our portfolio under management. And I feel like I didn't go really in depth on how we got to that point. So I figured, hey, let me break down a case study showing you step-by-step variables that we've implemented for one of our apparel brands, so that let's say you do run an apparel brand or you run something similar where it's a collection and you're trying to grow your business going into 2024, the easiest methods you can implement today so that you can reap some rewards and have a successful Q4 going into the new year. So with that being said, guys, let me dive into X. I'll show you the case study, and then from there, I'll break it down more in depth. So here we are inside X. And if you haven't followed me on here yet, go ahead and do so at the Chris HRDZ. This is where I post majority of gems and value. It's easier for me to do it on X rather than like it takes me a while to build out content and then give it a format, get it edited, so on and so forth. So if you want high in-depth breakdown strategies, X is probably the best place to follow me on because I pretty much am posting daily. But this is how we generated 1.5 million during Q4 for an apparel brand with over 50% plus net profit. Now, guaranteed or granted, net profit's probably the only metric I care about, because you can have $2 million in revenue, but your COGS can eat up that, your ad spend could eat a majority of that, and you could be at 10% net profit. So I'm always trying to maximize the amount of net profit there is on the front end, because with more net profit equals more cash flow. So then you can either build out new collections, you can invest into inventory, so on and so forth. So I'm always proponent of you want to raise your net profit as much as possible. Now, these are the real results. Triple well, you know it's legit. Here's also the net profit we spent. We generated 1.5 million. We had 676K in net profit, and we did roughly over 6 figures in ad spend. And then our ROAS here is 14.79. So pretty successful Q4. Context: the client was spending less than $500 a day in ad spend. The founder lacked complete top of funnel / bottom of the funnel paid ad strategy. There's no coherent bundle offering to push on the front end. So we're scrambling, like we onboard this brand at the end of Q3, and pretty much it's like we didn't have time to invest to a landing page, build that out pretty fast, or even have the creative flywheel system to constantly test new creators. Now we do. Beforehand, like I said before, we're just scrambling, trying to find something that could work. So what we did is we did an initial audit. We noticed that there was a lack of A/B creative flywheel testing. There's no post-production systems, and the brand was only reliant on generating profit from existing customer base. So they had a strong cult following across socials, but this is always going to be a law of diminishing returns, because if you're dropping new collections, yes, you can get profit from your existing customer base, but if you're just relying on your existing customer base for growth, you're always going to be in a point of stagnation or even somewhat at a net loss. The goal is, or like the golden ratio is, you want to have consistent top of funnel new customers coming into your ecosystem. The split is, what I recommend is around 70% new customers, and then you have 30% recurring buyers. So it's like, for example, let's say you drop a collection every quarter, you have a ton of new customers in the ecosystem, they get hit again with a new collection as a downsell, and then from there you're increasing the LTV. So the brand had strong cult following and they had great retention. It's just they struggled with acquisition and getting new customers at a profit. So this is where we came in. Now, what was implemented? I mean, I always say this, but before any project I take on, I look at data. I look at SKUs. I look at unit economics. What are the margins? What worked in the past? Because the main thing is I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. So I'm making a list of all the best performing SKUs based off Shopify data. I look at what are the margins, and then from there, it's like, okay, the question is, if we can push the single SKU, are we at 80% gross margin, or at least bare minimum 70% gross margin? If we're not, then I want to combine that single hero SKU with some other hero SKUs, put it into a bundle, and then from there, I have more gross margin to craft a no-brainer offer. So we're not starting from scratch. We're simply looking at data, making decisions from data, and then implementing it as we go forward. So for example here, we combined the best winning SKUs into a specific Q4 seasonal bundle. For this brand, a jacket, shirt plus hat combo was really that worked. We're at 80% net margins after COGS and shipping. We created an offer landing page where we offered buy two get one free plus warranty plus free shipping plus subscription code on the back end. Granted, we just took a collection page they had and then used that as a template, and then from there just imported the SKUs. And then there's a bit of code that goes into like the buy two get one free, but not that much. It's pretty simple. We had the dev team do that on their end, and then from there we just offer stack. When you have so much gross margin, let's say your AOV is at $150, now you can do free shipping, buy two get one free, possibly push a subscription, push warranty. Like when a customer sees that they only have to pay $150 for this whole bundle, in reality, it could cost like $500 or $350 with all these SKUs. That is a no-brainer offer to a brand new customer. As a byproduct, we wanted to automate the creative system. I believe creatives are probably the biggest bottleneck most brands face, and it's because they either too reliant on agencies or they don't know how to build this in-house. I mean, to build out the creative flywheel system is pretty easy. You just need a person to write out ad briefs, and then you need an editor side by side that can implement the strategies the creative strategist is appointing them. So with that being said, we took winning statics from ads in the past with decent spin, and then we made it more of an evergreen. Like for Q4, you have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then you have Christmas. It's like, these are all ways where you could just make it somewhat evergreen, right? If the offer is evergreen, like buy two, get one free, that can run year round, and then you just make it tailored to whatever the VIP pre-Black Friday special is or whatever the Christmas special is. That's the great thing about evergreen offers is this, they run year round. You just have to adjust angles or ad copy to fit whatever the specific sales push is. And then there you go, that you already have something that worked in the past. Now you're getting more spin to that. Now the campaign setup is pretty simple. I mean, we always stick with one campaign, CBO, 3 variant ad concepts, all testing with DCTs. 2 DCTs are tested at a maximum, plus we take the winner's ad set and host as post IDs. Separately, we did a heavy ABO push for retargeting previous 90-day buyers on this new bundle. And then we also had a DABA campaign set up as well, retargeting previous 90-day buyers. So I'm more of a, there's always going to be a debate of which campaign structure is better, whether it's going fully broad, testing with DCTs, or even going full ABO. I'm under the landscape or the scope of, if you don't know how to use each strategy, depending on the point of where the brand is at, well, then you're always going to be somewhat losing on potential. Because majority, like, it would be different if a brand's at 2 to 5 million a month in revenue and they have pretty much, they're spending loads of money on ads. Then from there, yeah, of course you want to focus more on broad targeting. But if you're like sub $1 million a year in revenue, right, you have yet to even touch the surface of ad fatigue or even ad hitting like previous 90-day buyers. So it's like we did both combinations here. We did fully broad for top of funnel, and then we did a heavy push for just getting people that came into contact with the business in the 90-day period. So we went from spending less than $500 a day to over $10K a day in a span of 2 weeks. Our unit economics were profitable on the front end. And then we improved the split from, like, the brand was at 30% new customers and the majority of 70% returning customers. Then we shifted that to 60% top of funnel brand new customers plus 40% returning customers. So that was the split. It began to shift and we began to grow the top of funnel new customer base. Now, the plan for Q1. Q1's going to be always the most slowest period for any e-com brand because think about it, we just exhausted our customer base with the holiday season, right? They have to work, they have to get their money back into from their jobs so then they can spend again, right? So the goal is for us, we want to focus on capital efficiency as a slowdown occurs. Just normally, this is just the way the economy is. And if you've done this before, you know Q1's typically always your slowest period. And then from there, we're just stacking other high AOV bundles we can from their collection of SKUs. We're building an evergreen flywheel system with offers that can run year round, and it's more of the same of what we did last year. So with that being said, that's the strategy for Q1. It's doing more of what already worked, plus expanding on evergreen offers, and then capital efficiency. We want to make sure that we're spending a decent amount of ad spend, but also we have a decent net profit from that spend during this slowdown. So of course, this is going to be like we're reducing budgets, but also we're trying to find in on that great top of funnel bundle offering that could be more on the lower tier side. Let's say it's like an $80 AOV. Then we can possibly push a subscription. There's a lot of ways to go around this. But with that being said, if you're tired of getting burned by ad agencies, you want to actually have potential to exit your business, you can check out my free 30-page protocol here at scalevelocity.io. It's everything you need to build a house with only a team of 5, and it breaks this down step by step. So you can just go type in scalevelocity.io. You can watch this 1-hour video I did. That's a whole breakdown. You can read my protocol, and then here's the real in-depth breakdown as well. So you can check this out and implement it for your business. And then if you're interested and you want to book in a call, feel free to do so. You can speak directly with me. I'll see if you're a fit, and then I'll make you an offer. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.